Well, hey everyone, we want to welcome you into our third solar eclipse Q&A question. Of course, that countdown has changed again. Last week we were at 28 days. Now we are at 21 days, 3 weeks from that total solar eclipse.
21 days. This countdown is it's getting smaller and smaller. I just can't believe we're 3 weeks away. I mean, this time in 3 weeks, a lot of us will be outside getting ready for the eclipse because it happens right around 3 o'clock. So get ready.
Yeah, get ready. And I mean, I just remember just us talking about this almost a year ago and almost 6 months ago, and now 3 weeks away. Incredible.
We're so excited.
Yeah.
We're so excited. But we are here to answer your questions, anything eclipse related. And of course, you guys have been awesome sending in questions, commenting on our posts. So we already have some questions, but we're also live on YouTube as well. So if you have any of those questions, comment there as well. Or you can always message us, Facebook us, Twitter, Instagram, email, anything. And we will answer your questions, if not today, next week or the following week as well.
Yes, of course. And I don't know if anybody stepped outside today, but let's hope we don't get weather like this next 3 Mondays from now.
What was it, last week or 2 Mondays ago?
I think last week it was nice.
If we could just bottle up that sunshine, one of my friends said last week, bottle up that sunshine, enjoy it, just soak it in, blue sky. That's what we want, those bright blue skies.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, hopefully we can get those in about 3 weeks. We are counting on that, hopefully. But, of course, we're going to get started. So, as always, you can always ask that question, whether it's in the comments or anywhere else on our Facebooks or anything like that. So, and then this is, of course, going to be every Monday leading up to that solar eclipse. So, next week will be at 10:30, I want to say, next week. So, yeah, we'll be ready to answer any questions you may have. So, just a quick explainer, I guess, Kaylee, you can run through this real quick. Quick explainer of what exactly the solar eclipse is. What
exactly is a total solar eclipse? So it happens when the moon is in front of our sun, and it actually produces a little bit of a shadow on the Earth's surface. And this is what causes the path of totality, or also the umbra as well. So that umbra is the shadow that's reflected from the sun onto the Earth, which is of the moon. So very interesting, but along with that you also have the penumbra as well, so it can be a little bit confusing right there. But basically what you're seeing right there on the screen, that's exactly what millions of people will be experiencing, that total solar eclipse in 3 weeks. And I mentioned that path of totality. Go ahead and advance to the next thing, Matt. And so this is what we're talking about. That path of totality is basically when you're in that shadow, so stretching from Texas to the Mid-South to us here in Ohio, parts of the Northeast. A lot of people will be under that path of totality, and that is that shadow. But of course, the further out you are in that path, the smaller the amount of time it will be to be in that path of the eclipse. And of course, we're going to run down who exactly, where, and when in Ohio will be seeing this total solar eclipse.
Yes, we sure will. And just a quick look at this. This is similar to what was seen from Aubrey back on I think the last solar eclipse, I want to say. And it was pretty much 100% eclipse. So that's likely what we're going to see throughout Northwest Ohio, which is 100% eclipse. So pretty much it'll seem light for a few hours beforehand, but completely dark when we finally reach totality of that eclipse. So you can see that the sun's grown about 10 million times less dense during that solar eclipse. So that is something that's going to be a true phenomenon as we head throughout the eclipse. So shall we get to our first question?
Let's answer some questions.
All right, so our first question that we did get last week, or just this past weekend, what time will the eclipse begin right here in Toledo? Well, that answer for you? Yeah, so that totality in Toledo is going to begin right around 3:12, and eventually max totality is going to be just about a minute later at 3:13, and then the totality will end right around 3:14. So time of totality is right around 1 minute and 51 seconds. But of course, with the full solar eclipse, it's going to be much longer than that, I would say. So. Yeah.
We're adjusting. Give us 1 second here. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Chris
special guest.
Wind the camera out, everybody. Come on in. We're all friends.
We'll get close now.
We're all friends.
Angle.
I am so excited about this. I know you guys are getting really, into some of the details and the questions. Which the questions have been phenomenal so far from people that have been coming in. A lot of curiosity over this, so we're excited to really get into the details. And I heard you guys were just talking about specific times of the total solar eclipse.
Yes, yeah, we sure were. And I'm glad glad that we can actually break this down by the seconds, even by the minute on some of these times. So it's good to at least give these people, the viewers, something to look forward to, whether you're in Rossford, Oregon, Miami, throughout the Toledo metro, and even further throughout the Toledo metro as well.
Which is going to be so cool.
It's just so exciting. But not everyone in Northwest Ohio will be under that, unfortunately.
Most of Fulton County is not in totality. None of Williams County in totality, and the vast majority of southern Michigan not officially in totality either. So you're going to have to make alternate plans. If you really want to experience the true event of totality, you're going to have to do that in a community. Maybe it's a friend or somebody that you're, family member that you can kind of maybe spend a day or two with, because you're going to want to get there early and perhaps stay late.
Oh, yeah. Wow. All right. Well, next question for us is, being outside the total or of totality in Toledo, would it be better to be more in the central part for it, or does it make a difference, really?
Well, totality is totality. You'll be able to experience the same effect, but if you're closer to the eclipse center line, it'll just be for a longer time. So I think the big question here is there a difference between being in the path of totality or just outside of the path of totality?
Exactly.
It means a world of difference. Because only in totality are you going to be able to experience what would look like a full sunset all around you, like a 360-degree panorama. The chance of seeing the solar corona, and the chance then only in totality where you can actually remove your solar glasses. We'll talk about this coming up in a little bit. For those few short moments, removing your solar glasses and being able to look directly at it in totality.
Wow. Yeah, truly going to be some a sight to see, honestly. So I guess you might want to have that difference of being right in the center of it.
So we do have a question from YouTube, actually. Will we see stars during the eclipse?
Ooh.
I'm just hoping we don't see clouds.
That's, clouds, rain, snow.
Yeah.
I'll lay that out there. The best way I've described this to many people, it would be similar to the sky looking about 20 minutes after sunset. So we've all experienced sunsets and what twilight looks like. So take the time that the sun sets and then look at the clock, and about 20 minutes later, when it's not entirely dark, but it's a twilight feeling, you'll start to see some stars and some planets that will be visible. So in last total solar eclipse in the United States in 2017, there was just some incredible views, planets and stars that were visible. We also tell people, watch the environment around you too, because we've talked in other versions of this, what things may be happening a little differently as well.
The animals will be changing.
May hear the crickets.
Yeah. Your dogs could be acting up. Horses, chickens, I mean, any animals could be getting ready for bedtime, as you would say. And also the nocturnal animals, raccoons, owls, you could start to hear some of them
rustling around.
Rustling around.
Yep. Rustling around.
We were thinking the same word, rustling around.
We're on the same path with that. So this is a map that is displaying the total solar eclipse time in totality in minutes. I highlighted the eclipse center line before, and that center line is going to go right across, right through Forest, Ohio, so crosses right into Wyandotte County, right around the Wyandotte, Crawford, and Seneca County line, and then eventually through Huron County, through Norwalk, and then over about the Avon Lake area, and then eventually over Lake Erie. So that is where the longest time of totality is going to be. But anywhere in any of these shaded colors, we'll be experiencing totality by a varying degree of a couple minutes, like we explained before.
Wow. It's going to be truly amazing sight to see. So, yeah, our next question is, when is the next eclipse after this one? They may have to time travel a little bit. You want to see that next one, right? Yeah, so of course the last eclipse that we did see was back in 1806. That was a very long time ago as well. But the next one, well, if you're born today, you might be able to see it. 2099.
Imagine if there's a baby born on the eclipse
on
April 8th, 2024. Will probably more than likely be alive in knock on wood, hopefully be alive in 99.
That's a really good point too. And if there's anyone out there that's watching the live stream, I'm just curious. Obviously, we can't predict the birth of a child on that date, but is anybody looking forward or celebrating something big that day? I've heard of people saying that, oh my gosh, April 8th of 2024 is my 50th birthday, or it's our wedding anniversary, or you guys have both heard this as well. A lot of people planning on tying the knot on that day.
Weddings.
Did hear about that? Wow.
just curious if anyone knows of anything out there, or maybe you're one that's in that situation. Let us know if you're doing anything special on April 8th of 2024 to celebrate or maybe to commemorate such a big monumental day in our time.
I did meet a little boy this morning. He's going to have his 7th birthday on April 8th.
Wow. Well, that's pretty cool.
It's going to be a truly special birthday.
He's really excited.
That's a way.
Yeah.
That's a way.
Very cool.
I had a great opportunity last week. I was out. Our whole weather team has been educating this community. I was out at one of our assisted living communities, and I threw this information out at him. I said, first of all, I tricked him a little bit. I said, all right, who was around for the last total solar eclipse here in Toledo? A couple of them raised their hand. I said, you are liars, okay? It was 1806, and they got a good chuckle out of that.
Oh,
but then
man.
I said, but the next one, it's going to be 2099. Who's excited for that one? And some woman raised her hand. She goes, I'm going to be 144. I can't wait. And I loved it.
Wow.
I loved it.
I love the enthusiasm.
enthusiasm. So we are excited about this, and really can't wait for what more is to come in the few weeks we have ahead.
Yep. Well, all right, next question is, do I still have to wear my glasses during the solar eclipse? If it is cloudy, that's a good question.
Ooh.
And you've been doing a lot of research on this, Matt,
Yes.
and talk with a lot of the experts. So what do they say?
Yeah, so I mean, if it's versus sunny, of course, you got to have those glasses on beforehand and leading up to it, where it's that peak totality. Not necessarily, but I mean, either way you look at it, if it is, even as it's cloudy, you may not necessarily be able to see it, but you just want to have that extra precaution of wearing those glasses either way.
A lot of questions I've had too with this is that, and we'll be clear on this, the sun isn't any different on April 8th.
No.
So, if you plan to, if you need to be, run into a doctor's appointment or going to the grocery store and you don't plan on looking at the sun, you could still head outside. You could still drive a vehicle. You could still go to places you need to go.
Just don't.
You could still do your normal things. Just don't stare up at the sun.
Yes.
If you plan on experiencing the total solar eclipse and viewing it and actually looking at it, that's when you need your solar glasses. So there's nothing inherently dangerous about this day.
No.
There's nothing unusual about it. And really, to be honest, outside of the issues that we may have with crowds, you could go about some of your daily activity and routine, if it's something that at most of the day or during the partial eclipse doesn't necessarily interest you, there's nothing different about it.
No.
Yeah.
So go ahead, be smart about it, and if you plan on viewing it, actually, like as Matt said and Kaylee said, looking up at it, that's when anytime you look up at it, just have those solar glasses on.
Exactly.
With the exception, though, of one time, and that one time is during totality.
Yep.
Yeah,
Which is pretty cool.
we're just so excited.
We are. So totality is, again, going to be for those few short minutes. Overall, though, this is going to be something that lasts for a couple hours or longer between when we get what's called first contact, which is that partial eclipse beginning, to the second contact and third contact, which are during totality. And then the fourth point of contact is when it's leaving the last little point that actually touches or obscures the sun. This may begin in the Toledo metro area around 1:50, the partial eclipse. We get our max totality around 3:13, and it wraps up close to about 4:30. So it's quite a bit of time on either side of this that we're going to start to see a dimming or a darkness, and the darkness is going to grow deeper and deeper and deeper to the point where we get to totality, and it would look like twilight that had set upon the area. So look forward to that. You don't need those solar glasses if you're in the path of totality at the exact time of totality, which is important to know when your community is in totality.
Yeah, and exactly, and of course, when that totality does start to end, and you start to see kind of how you said, Chris, the brightness come back a little bit. That's when you want to put those glasses back on. When you start to see a little change, it might be a minute change that you see from pretty much that totality coming to an end, and moving on after 15 minutes, 30 minutes. So you want to make sure, if you still want to look up at the eclipse, still have those glasses on.
Absolutely, good point on that, Matt. Good word of caution. All right, Kaylee, I'm just going to let you field this one because this is by far what we are getting overwhelmed with right now, and I do get a bit of a chuckle about the responses that we get because people are saying, if you ask somebody, what do you think the weather is going to be like? Because we don't even know yet.
No.
We're the meteorologists. It's still 3 weeks out. We can't predict cloud cover that far out. And we'll just be honest with you. You hear anything from a snowstorm to rain, cloud, sun, or a tornado, I've even heard. So,
Anything.
yeah,
Anything.
So what are the realistic chances, Kaylee? Because we can use climatology at this point to kind of break it down.
And that's what we've been looking at too. So looking at this graphic right here, honestly, it's basically a 40-40 chance. I know it's not 50-50, but it could be either really sunny or really cloudy, but pretty much it's going to be one or the other. That sounds like such a meteorologist term right there. It's going to be either very sunny or
But we get it, though, because
it's April in Ohio.
It's April in Ohio, so
Exactly.
we do understand that. So this data here is specific cloud cover for April 8th. Coming from Toledo Express Airport. So we were actually given or rated a viewability score of 54.2%. Thoughts on that?
That's still failing.
It is.
Right around 50-50.
It's failing. It's 50-50. And I'm going to round it out and say, so you're telling me there's a chance.
There's a chance. There's a
Glass
chance.
half full.
I'm glass half full. A little more than just half full, right? But you get the range of emotion. You know, Kaylee looks at, oh, that's a failing score. Matt's like, well, hey, it's a 50-50 chance. And I'm like, we got this.
I'll take those chances.
I'll take the chances, right. You know, there are some indications, though, and I'll just be honest, I'd say that overall, even though this is data specific for, you know, what we can obtain from Toledo Express Airport, which is one of our more reliable climate reporting stations, on average, we're going to say that our area averages out to about 60% cloud cover, 40% sunshine. So it's slightly not in our favor.
Yeah.
And we can see as we kind of go up that ramp there, the amount of mostly cloudy to overcast days is close to 50% alone. And there's a few days mixed in there, you know, about 10 to 15% where it's like actually a partly sunny day where you could be like, that cloud better not come over during totality when it, you know, and that may happen for some areas. But we have had bright sunny days. Last year on April 8th of 2023, there was not a cloud in the sky the entire day. It was beautiful, bright, sunny, blue skies, and I still remember just laughing and thinking, what are the chances we get 2 in a row? We're going to need to do it for this year.
Yes.
But climatology is a good tool that we can use at this point.
Always
and
is.
About when, Matt, would we be able to give people a more accurate expectation or forecast for cloud cover?
Yeah, I mean, usually I'd say starting around 10 to 14 days out, usually we can start to at least get that grasp of accuracy, and eventually even 7 to 10 days out, you can really lock in on those details even more, like even 47 days out. That's when we can really see what will the weather be like that day, whether it's rain, snow, cloudy, rain, severe, anything, honestly. So we'll be really able to lock in to that 7-day span and that 10-day span.
So we all know storm chasers, right?
Yep.
They ride out into the Central Plains and they target areas of, you know, severe weather and tornadoes. But there are eclipse chasers. Did you know this? Where would an eclipse chaser be targeting, Kaylee? If you were going to be an eclipse chaser, would you be coming to northern Ohio in early April to try to catch the eclipse? Who actually has, of totality, who has the best chance of seeing it now, not just exclusive to Ohio? Who's got the best chance?
I mean, definitely those folks down in Texas. I mean, they have a 70% chance of sunshine, climatology speaking. For April 8th, so down towards Texas, I mean, Oklahoma a little bit, Arkansas, Missouri.
Looks like I got to take a vacation in Mexico.
Right.
On April 8th.
So down there where Matt just picked up there, that's kind of in and around New Mexico, some high desert areas, the Chihuahuan Desert, where your chance of having sunshine is over 90% on the afternoon of April 8th, because it'd be really a rare circumstance. So just being honest, there are some areas across this path of totality that will be better or more favorable for sunshine compared to the Great Lakes region, but that's nothing new for us. But an interesting map altogether, though, just to indicate areas that are more likely to be seeing sunshine. And again, the chance of seeing bright sunshine, generally 30% or less here in much of the Great Lakes region. Matt, this is another big important one because people have been scrambling now. If you don't already have your glasses, what do they need to know about getting proper solar glasses?
Yeah, so this next question is, what is the certification for solar eclipse glasses? So it is a specific certification. And also, I did see a question from, I want to say, Charlie, that he said he got 2 pairs of solar eclipse glasses, but they are on recall. Can I still use them? So pretty much we're going to go ahead, if they are on recall, go ahead and say, just for safe purposes, get new glasses. And the certification we do have right here is ISO 12312-2. And typically, the glasses I've seen that have been at least vetted by some of the eye doctors I've been to say you want to have that logo right on at least the frame of ISO to make sure those are certified.
The other thing I'll say about that, too, is that you need to be a little cautious of the source of where you're getting these glasses from, because let's just be honest. A lot of times we just rush to Amazon or to eBay, and I'll be honest that those are not necessarily recommended sources of where you can obtain or where you should obtain solar glasses. I'm not saying that there aren't plenty of valid providers on there. You're also more susceptible, is what I'll say, to encountering people that may be selling fake glasses. So be cautious of that. I don't want you getting them directly, I want you to do your research, get them from a reputable site. I've done that here for our team, and we're encouraging people, obviously, at our WTOL 11 studios to be doing the same. So just be careful of some of those secondary sources where you're not sure about them. And like Charlie said, if they're on recall, they're probably on recall for a reason. So I wouldn't be... if it was me and I was giving them to my children, I would say, we're going to go ahead and choose a different type of glasses that we know are certified.
Your eyes are more important than the convenience that you already have.
Right. Boy, a lot going on here, though. Yep. A lot going on. So to wrap it up, Matt?
Yeah, so to wrap it up, we just want to give you a wide view, and we'll zoom this in just a bit, but a wide, very distinct view of where exactly this total solar eclipse is going to happen. So starting off, we said right in Mexico, and this is the path of totality. Starting off right in Mexico, it's going to go all the way through Texas. We're talking Texas, Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky, and eventually Ohio is where we're going to see that total solar eclipse. So yeah, zooming in on you, we're talking at least most, I'd say 80% of our viewing area. But like I said, we said Williams, Fulton, Southeast Michigan, not necessarily in that path of totality, but you will see a bit of a partial solar eclipse, we'd like to say.
It'd be like 99.8% eclipse, but you may think, well, that's good enough, right? It really makes all the difference to be in the direct path of totality, because that will be the only time that you can experience the full moment of totality. So if you don't have plans and you're just outside that path of totality, I certainly would have something set for viewing on April 8th. So we're going to continue this, right, coming up the next couple of weeks. Matt, what's coming up next?
Yeah, so we'll have this again on next Monday at 10:30. So, of course, if you do have any questions at all, no question is off limits with the solar eclipse. So make sure you send those questions in. You can comment under any of our Facebooks. You can send them in through email, through WTOL, whether that's on the website, even on this YouTube Live. If you still have any more questions after this video, yeah, go ahead and send them in. We'll be able to answer all those questions for you throughout the next couple of weeks. And like I said, next Monday, 10:30, and we'll be doing that again Monday after that next, which will be a week away from that solar eclipse.
I can't wait. It's coming on fast. Well, we appreciate you joining us. We got meteorologist Kaylee Bowers here, meteorologist Matt Willoughby, and I am Chief Meteorologist Chris Vickers. Appreciate your time and joining us as we've answered some of the questions about the total solar eclipse coming up. More can be found on WTOL.com/solar eclipse, or right here where you're viewing on our WTOL 11 YouTube page. Everybody, have a great one.